Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, and what a way to start it off with some good old Spider-Man theme music. Today is July 3rd, 2017. We're already in July, and well, guys, today we're going to talk about Spider-Man, all things Spider-Man, and about the iPhone turning 10 years old today. And here with me to talk about that is my guest today, Mo. What's up, Mo?
Hi, what's up?
All right, man. So we had you on episode 1. How did that go?
Oh no, man. You didn't have to pay me so much to come back. No, just kidding.
Well, I wish, dude.
No, man. I really liked it. It was really fun, and I hope to try to make this a regular thing as much as I can.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. That's the whole point of this, to try to not only have me, because I think people will get bored of me, but but all right, man. Like I said, today we're gonna talk about Spider-Man, all things Spider-Man, the movies, and the new edition this weekend, which is Spider-Man: Homecoming. And we're also gonna talk about the iPhone. But first, I wanted to mention some of the movies coming out this week. Besides Spider-Man: Homecoming, we do have a Ghost Story, which that stars Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. I don't know if you've seen the trailer to it, but I would recommend for people to go try to check it out. I don't know if it's going to be limited or wide. Hopefully it's wide, because I've been wanting to watch the next movie I'm going to mention, The Big Sick, for a while. That's also getting a wider release this weekend. So if you guys are kind of over the whole superhero movies and stuff like that, and you want to watch something else, I do recommend both of those. And also, if you haven't seen Baby Driver, me and Mo watched that, and it was pretty awesome. If you guys didn't see my review, what'd you think about that movie, real quick?
To be honest, I honestly did not expect to like it, because the trailers seemed really, really cheesy.
Yeah.
And I guess because I had lowered expectations, I ended up liking it more. But even if I had no expectations, the movie was still just very, very well done. And just as someone that's really into music, it's my
it's your thing,
job,
man. It's
my
your passion.
It's career, and it's what I do for a living. And I don't know, it was just really cool to see something like that.
Yeah, it was. So that's opening this week, guys, and I guess we can move on to the first topic, and that is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
okay.
So with the release of Spider-Man: Homecoming, I'm kind of looking back through the Spider-Man cinematic history. But first, I want to get your initial thoughts of the first trilogy. We'll start with the first trilogy. And how was that for you?
The first trilogy?
Yeah, what was your first experiences and all that good stuff?
Well, I mean, first of all, I want to say I'm looking forward to your review, because I want to see how those hold up for you.
Yeah.
I actually just watched the Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi ones, just to be sure. The other one, the Amazing Spider-Mans didn't get a trilogy.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too.
But for the original Sam Raimi trilogy, I actually thought to me, Spider-Man 2 is my third favorite superhero movie ever. The second Spider-Man.
Really?
Spider-Man 2.
I never knew that was
Spider-Man 2 is my third favorite not Spider-Man movie. It's my third favorite superhero movie ever. And it's probably in my top 15 movies ever.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
That movie is just so well done. The first one is very well done as well, though. To be honest, it's still gonna be probably in my top 15 superhero movies. So it's with all the superhero movies out, that should say something, because there's been a lot of good ones. So I really love the original Spider-Man as well. I actually, to be honest, this is gonna sound weird, but I actually, even though I love the second Spider-Man more, I prefer the Green Goblin over Doc Ock.
Swear.
Yeah.
Really?
I just feel like there was more to that story.
Yeah.
With him going crazy. I know it was a little over the top, but I believe the Doc Ock was over the top too, to be honest, and I feel like it just fit with the tone of the movie. It wasn't overly done. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like out of place, I guess you could say. Like it wasn't like if they made that kind of character in like say a movie like The Dark Knight, I'd be like, what the hell?
Totally,
But
it would be different.
it fit within that Spider-Man movie very, 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 very well. And I don't know, Spider-Man. I like the villain in Spider-Man 1 more, but overall, as me caring about the characters and everything, I love Spider-Man 2 way more, and I love what Spider-Man 2 represents. Spider-Man 3. I don't know what kind of crap I'm gonna get for this. It's probably my second least favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I know ahead of which one.
Yeah, but it's probably my second least Spider-Man movie. I feel like there was good. I don't know, maybe my least favorite Spider-Man movie, to be honest, because I don't know. Well, I don't know. See, I have to see Amazing Spider-Man 2 because, to be honest, it's between those two being my least favorite.
Yeah.
For me, that was a movie that had some good qualities, but it suffered from like what everyone says. It's nothing new. Too many villains.
Villain overload.
Yeah, too many villains. Too many subplots. I don't know. Just like a lot of. I don't know. Just a lot of
missed opportunities.
A lot of missed opportunities. Please don't even get me started about that.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like Venom should have been in that movie. To be perfectly honest.
At all? Like not even Eddie Brock.
Oh, but I could. I honestly don't mind like Green Goblin and Sandman in that movie. I feel like maybe they could have worked.
I felt like
Venom was forced.
Definitely. Oh, definitely, dude.
Venom was the most forced thing out of that movie. And what I can say is me looking at your with your Venom figure over there.
Yeah.
if you don't know, this one's live. We're actually not over Skype. But anyways,
yeah.
But I know this guy's really into Venom, and I'm hoping that you think the Venom movie is gonna be good, or like you're hoping.
Well, I'm hoping, yeah. Well, that's all I can hope do right now. You know, I mean, I think Tom Hardy is a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, we'll get into that. And I don't know. To be honest, I don't think it's necessary. But if they're gonna do one, okay, Tom Hardy's pretty good. As a good actor for that, and Carnage is gonna be the villain, so obviously that's gonna be cool to see. But I mean, obviously, I don't know. I don't know if you can do justice to him because of the whole Spider-Man thing.
Yeah,
I feel like he needs to be there.
Because that's how he gets.
Yeah,
to
like I feel like
even his emblem on his chest is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
so it doesn't make sense.
How could you like not have Spider-Man and explain everything? You know.
This is what I was thinking though. To be honest, is the movie before or after Infinity War? Like when does it come out?
It comes out after
Infinity War.
Yeah, because Infinity War comes out in the summer of next year, and then Venom is scheduled for October of next year.
Okay, because what I was gonna say, what can possibly happen, possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying for sure. Possibly happen is that Spider-Man can get his black suit.
Yeah.
In Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, that's not Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Infinity War. Because if you
Secret Wars, huh?
Yeah, Secret Wars. So he gets his black suit in Secret Wars. So I'm thinking maybe Infinity War he could possibly get the black suit, and then Venom could he could take it off.
Yeah, like some plot device could be used or something, or at least
like that could be his appearance. I'm pretty sure Spider-Man's gonna appear in it. There's no way they can actually do it without it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there's a rumor. I don't know. I don't know if it's rumor, but or like pictures that were floating online of Tom Holland wearing a CGI suit, like not the regular suit. So everybody was thinking, okay, maybe he's gonna be wearing the Iron Spider suit, you know. But it could also be the black suit. We don't know, or maybe he just has like some freaking weird tech of Tony's, to breathe out in outer space or something. So it can be the black suit.
Yeah.
So we just have that.
But I mean, again, we went way off topic, but getting back onto topic really quick.
Yeah.
I like the original Spider-Man trilogy. I don't think the third one is as bad as everyone says. I would give it like a C-.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 7.
Yeah.
Out of 10. Yeah, I guess 7 out of 10, man. Like I don't know if I can give it more than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. We have a cat.
I got a cat today, and I guess it's just getting used to the surroundings.
So sorry if you hear some scratching, but yeah. that's what I think about it. I don't know if you want to give your thoughts, if you want to give like a
I'll
summary
give,
of your thoughts.
Yeah, like a brief summary, because for those of you who don't know, I am doing a review of the original trilogy before this Friday, leading,
Friday.
yeah, leading to. It seems so soon, right? We got Tom Holland, and then he was in Civil War, and all of a
They
sudden
sped
now,
up that Spider-Man movie. I'll tell you that,
did.
dude. Like they sped it up. Like usually, like Marvel movies, it's like they'll plan Doctor Strange, and it'll take like, all right, 4 years, we'll start shooting, you know?
Yeah.
But Spider-Man Homecoming, is like, all right, we got the rights.
Everything's just happened like quick.
All right, and like within 2 years, like they just started. I was like,
yeah.
damn.
I
that's
think
crazy.
maybe what they did is like, okay, this could be possible, so let's have like two routes. If we get him, let's do this route, or if we don't, let's do this route. You know?
That would make sense.
Because I mean, Kevin Feige, he's pretty. He said he's like has like the whole like next 20 years of worth of movies like in his office planned out and stuff like that. But yeah, so stay tuned for my reviews. As far as the original trilogy, overall I like it. And I felt like at least the first one is kind of special for, you know, like it's kind of leading the way for, you know, like.
Yeah, I remember actually watching the first one in theaters.
Yeah.
As a kid. It was one of my like favorite superhero movies growing up. Now looking at it, I think as a kid I loved that movie so much, because I guess it was also because it was before the Batman Begins, Dark Knight. So to me at that time, that was the best superhero movie that ever came out. Better than X-Men, obviously better than Batman and Robin, but
Blade and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade, Spawn, even better than the first Batman. I really, really enjoyed that first Spider-Man movie so much. It had a lot of heart. Sam Raimi knew what he wanted to do with that character. And
yeah, definitely.
I remember just growing up with that first Spider-Man movie, getting the toys, getting the first video game. Like that was my
game, man.
To be perfectly honest, that first movie was my gateway into Spider-Man before I was super into DC only.
Yeah.
And that was my first gateway into Marvel. I remember I think I was like 5, or when did that movie come out? What year?
I think in 2001.
2001. So
yeah. Let me fact check that real quick, but go on.
Yeah, so I will say 2001, the first Spider-Man came out. If that's the case, I was 5 years old then. I just started. It was around the time I was either first grade or kindergarten. But yeah, I think that's what I remember. I think it was either first grade or kindergarten when that first Spider-Man movie came out, and I remember that was the gateway to me into getting into Spider-Man.
2002 actually.
Oh, okay. So I was 6 years old then. I was that what month?
May.
I was 5. Okay. 5.5, whatever.
5 years old?
I think so. I was born 1996, so
7, 8.
But
7,
I was born
8,
in
9,
September,
10.
so like I was 5.
Wow, I think that you would have been older. But
yeah, no, I'm young. I'm gonna be 21 in a couple months, so that's a little fact about me.
Enjoy the years, man. Those 20 years.
You're only 3 years older than
Well,
me.
yeah, but still, like I don't know. It's just we always talk about this.
Yeah,
man,
I know.
So.
But yeah, man, I was only 5. Yeah, I remember that, and I remember being super excited for Spider-Man 2 as well. Spider-Man 3 was like really hyped. Everyone was super hyped for Spider-Man 3.
That one was because of like us as fans, we knew Venom was coming, so we were hyped because of that, you know?
Yeah, I think that was my first big disappointment ever in a film.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, when I first watched it as a kid, I liked it.
Yeah,
to be
me
honest.
too.
I liked it a lot. But growing up and watching it again, I realized I watched it just recently, and I remember I was watching it and I was like, wow, this movie really is bad. Like,
yeah.
Because before I rewatched it, I hadn't watched those movies in years, maybe since I was like 10, 12, 13, 14. And I rewatched the third one just recently, and I when I was before that, I was like, oh, okay, that movie is probably 7.5. Now I think it's like a 6.5 maybe.
So it went down the whole point.
It went down a lot, but there were there were good elements, especially with Harry and Peter and Sandman and Peter. But shit, man, that's all I can say. Like I rewatching it, I actually thought like, okay, it's not gonna be that bad, but it's not gonna be good. I watched it. To be honest, it's a bad film with a lot of really good. Well, it's not a bad film. It's an okay film.
Yeah.
That had potential, but suffered a lot. I guess that's the best way I can put it. I don't think we've ever had a bad Spider-Man movie, though, to be honest. That's what I'll say. I don't think we've ever had like a really bad one or even
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
There were good elements in that movie, to be honest. If you want to segue into Amazing
No, that's
Spider-Man.
what I was going to say. Now we're talking about that. I'm not going to review those.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's not like I didn't want to. It's just that, time restraints and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when those came out, I was kind of bummed out because they were already moving on with Spider-Man 4. Everybody was coming back, and I believe I think it was John Malkovich.
Really? Okay.
That was going to play a Vulture. And Sam Raimi was like, everybody was on board, but then it's just like, oh, it was like a big news. I remember this. Like, if that would have happened today, I would have covered it,
Yeah.
And it got canceled. And the reason why was because, I guess, Sam Raimi couldn't meet the deadline or something like that.
And he didn't want to... I remember that he said he didn't want to release another disappointing film for the fans.
Yeah, like, I guess he wanted more time with it, more time with the film. So that, and I mean...
He was so rushed for Spider-Man 3. That was one of the biggest problems. Oh,
yeah, dude, because of, money.
Yeah.
But, so that didn't happen. So we got the announcement. With that, Spider-Man 4 got canceled. But this new movie was going to come out with Mark Webb. And, then they got announced that Andrew was going to be Spider-Man. And the whole Gwen Stacy thing. So, I really enjoyed the first Amazing Spider-Man one. I thought it was a Spider-Man film. It was different from the original trilogy. I thought Andrew did his own take on Spider-Man, which I liked. And obviously in the comics, you have different iterations of Peter as well, So I thought it was like cool. Like he did his own iteration, and then I liked the whole the thing I liked the most though is the relationship between Peter and Gwen. That whole romantic side of it, and obviously because the director did it 500 Days of Summer, so yeah. I felt like the relationship in the original trilogy. Well, I'll save that.
You can talk about it now, I think.
Well, I feel like it could have been done better for me,
okay.
At least. Like,
well, you'll explain why in your review.
Yeah,
I'll explain I get why you're holding back now. I can agree. I think for me to be honest, I was actually really rewatching the Spider-Man films. I think that relationship works okay.
Yeah, the
Mary Jane perfectly honest, not amazing to be honest. I do agree that every movie Mary Jane needing to be saved is kind of like a kind of moment, but just take out her needing to be saved.
Damsel in distress.
The relationship is okay. I don't want to get too into it because I know you want to rewatch the movie with a fresh mind. But in the first movie, she's going through her own problems with her family. Yeah. She's trying to be okay with the guy that she likes, but she's also she also really likes Peter. There's like a little thing going on there.
And even in the second one, she has a good development.
Yeah, the development too. She just wants Peter to be there for her, and he's not because he has to be Spider-Man. And then when she realized why she realized he was Spider-Man, she's like, oh wow, that's why. And then she's telling him don't make your decisions for me. In the third one, it actually comes to an arc where they're finally together, but now to be honest, I feel like that relationship kind of fell apart in the third one a little bit because Peter made some really stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That kissing scene with the Gwen Stacy quote. I'm doing air quotes, by the way. Gwen Stacy.
Never mind.
That was a missed opportunity, that scene where they kissed was so stupid to me. I was watching it with my girlfriend at the time. We were just watching it and we were like, what the hell? Why did he do that? Why would he kiss that other girl? You know what I mean? We were just he made some really stupid decisions. And then the whole oh, you gotta get back on the horse. What the fuck? Is he that stupid? You know what I mean?
I remember that scene.
Yeah, you just gotta get back in the horse. We're are you kidding me? She's coming to you for you to listen. I don't know. I can go on. I feel like the third one did Mary Jane a good character, but messed up Peter's character a lot. So that's why I feel like that relationship didn't work on the third one. But I actually feel like Mary Jane was fine. I thought Peter was the problem.
Yeah.
Where in Amazing Spider-Man, they had this back and forth relationship where Peter's nope, don't get involved. I don't want you to get involved because I don't want anything.
The dad, right? The dad said, hey,
And then she finally lets her get involved, and the dad dies. And then he's like, all right, please don't. And he has guilt on him. I don't know. That I feel like just the relationship was much more well done in the second movie than in the first movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's just me. in the second trilogy, the second series, the Amazing Spider-Man, I felt like the romance was better done, but I don't think this romance in the first series was bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah. No,
About
well,
the
I mean,
second series. You don't have to talk about the first one.
I like I said, I like it better, but I think it's because of like the fact, like I think that's one of the greatest things that the second one did, which is Amazing Spider-Man 2. That one was really well done. I don't know. I guess for me, it's just more believable, and they were actually dating in real life at the time, so it was like okay. It was like I mean, they had good chemistry and stuff, but I mean, moving away from that, I don't know, the whole thing about like Uncle Ben again, like seeing that.
Yeah,
it was like whatever. But then like I heard though, real quick, I heard that now that like people are complaining that they didn't show that in this one. In the Homecoming.
I swear.
Yeah, first they're complaining. First they were complaining that.
Well, it's not really a spoiler if it doesn't show something, is it?
I don't think so. I mean, that was you pretty much.
I didn't think so. They
already
were
know
because
in the movie he's already Spider. Like he's trying to be Spider-Man already. So obviously
he's been Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I hope they at least mention it. That would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they need to show it again because he's already Spider-Man, like you said.
Yeah.
But they do have to address it.
No,
you know
yeah, address it, yeah, but like
because
I don't know, they're kind of like
this is going to be some kid's first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. That's why they retell origin. This is why I don't get. Everyone complains like, oh, in every Batman movie you gotta retell the origin story. Yeah, you do because to some kids, well, Batman v Superman is an exception because that's PG-13. But to some people, and rated R. But to some people, that's gonna be their first exposure to a superhero. So you need to explain that reason why they became a superhero. So if they really don't even mention it in Homecoming, I will be upset, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do feel like the death was well done, better in the first set of movies than.
Oh yeah, that's something I agree with. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I could say that definitely. The second one was not bad, to be honest. I think that one's a little bit more accurate to the comics. But the first one I felt like was well done,
more effective.
Yeah.
Even because it came back in the second one and kind
of the third one as well. They even got the actor to come back in the third one to like do a little scene. But yeah, I mean that's all I have to say about the first two trilogies. Not all I have to say, but that's pretty much the majority of it, man. Like I really like the first set. The second set is okay. I mean, you want to talk a little bit more about the second set? I don't feel like we talked about that enough.
Let's get into the sequel.
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. What was like one of your major problems besides like the villains?
Man, Rhino sucked. I know you said besides the villains, but I had to say that. Shocker was okay.
Electro.
Shocker. Electro. Sorry, my bad.
Shows how much you like that guy.
Yeah, he's alright. Harry, the stuff they did with him was pretty good until the end.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, dude.
Yeah, the end kind of didn't completely screw it up, but it did take away from me. I was taken away from the movie at that point because it was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, the villains weren't that well done, and your heroes is only as good as its villain, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem with other Marvel movies having right now. They just need better villains. I actually heard that in Spider-Man: Homecoming, the villain is actually really good. It's one of the first few Marvel movies that has a really good villain. And I was honestly already pretty sure about that. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't judge by myself. But if that is true, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't think they'd get a AAA actor like Michael Keaton to play Vulture if he was just gonna be a throwaway.
No, and
villain.
also he's been more picky since he, I guess, had a little resurgence of his roles. And it's kind of ironic because he did Birdman, and now he's doing like a superhero movie again. But I felt like he saw something in this role or something. Obviously besides a check.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, he's been picky. So I mean, hopefully that's true. That Vulture's been good.
Yeah.
But for me, I guess the second one was not good in the sense of like, I guess, tonal shifts, stuff like that. And I guess obviously the villains, but
the only thing for me, the second one, the saving grace of that movie is the love story.
That was really well done.
Spider-Man and Gwen.
Yeah.
and I did like I know a lot of people don't like this, but I do like the bit about him learning about his parents.
No, yeah,
Because that was something
that
was something new for
like
me. That was something new for me. I didn't in the
And it was explained in the first one, so it kind of this is like continuation of that. It was nice for it to be explored.
Because I didn't know anything about his parents. I don't read that many Spider-Man comics, to be honest. He's not a character I read too much on.
Yeah.
Because while I love the movies and I like the concept and the character, I don't feel like they have that many good comic books of Spider-Man. To be honest, that sounds really weird. They don't. There's a few good stories, but not that many of Spider-Man. So. That's just my opinion. A lot of people are gonna hate on me for that, but that's just. I love the character. I love what he represents. I love the movies, but just from someone that reads comic books, but didn't really get into Marvel until like later in life. To me, Spider-Man never had besides a few, like Spider-Man Blue was really good. I like the Death of Gwen Stacy, obviously. The Kraven's Last Hunt or something like that. It was the one where he gets Spider-Man. I don't want to spoil that one in case you haven't read it, but it's something to do with Kraven. I think it's something with Kraven.
I think it's Kraven's Last Hunt.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the Black Symbiote suit is okay, but the stuff with Carnage is really good. There's a few good stories, there's not enough. Like in terms of how many comic books he has, the quality is like maybe a little bit. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. Personally, the second Amazing Spider-Man, it felt like it was trying to go for the comic books a little bit more, where the first three movies.
One of the biggest thing that was my biggest problem is that they focused too much on setting up a universe and setting up the sequels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it just should have focused more on its own story, more I think on Harry, definitely, and I guess I don't think they should have taken out Rhino. I think and just because
if they were gonna have Rhino, they shouldn't have had them in that damn metal suit, dude.
Yeah, man. At least
I don't know.
At least like something more traditional, but at the same time not the exact same thing, But
I thought the robot, right? Because the whole point of Rhino is to be sympathetic towards him, that he's stuck like that.
Yeah,
he was engineered to look like that, to be like that. With now he's just some crazy guy in a fucking metal suit.
Some Russian mobster.
Yeah, what the hell? I don't know.
Paul But I feel like there was a good story to tell with Electro. It just got like they didn't pay too much attention to it, because that's what the first trilogy does, so well. That the villains are kind of, again, I don't want to get too much into it, but the villains are sort of a central character, more of a central character, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like Electro, you kind of like just have these little scenes and you're supposed to care about him already, and like he just does some stuff like that aren't really with his character at the beginning,
Yeah.
Like all this could have just like made him snap. Like, yeah. I don't know. I felt like that should have been more further developed and stuff like that.
Definitely, man.
So,
Electro is a missed opportunity. Even, man, I don't even...
Yeah, Harry, too. They should have spent more time on that relationship and maybe, like, saved him for the third one or something. Like, save him becoming
I feel
that.
Like what they should.
Oh, well, then they were kind of taking away the whole Gwen.
If you want me to be completely honest, you could focus on Electro and Green Goblin. Yeah, I think two villains is okay.
Yeah.
There's always that, like, okay, they could have just made Electro work for Green Goblin. That's it. And then, like, Harry as not Green Goblin yet, but just Electro working for Harry.
Still him pulling the strings and stuff.
And then maybe Harry getting the suit. Like, maybe even a little bit earlier than the end, like maybe in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
And him just using Electro as a pawn. I think that would have been a much better... he kind of did that, but not to the good extent,
Yeah.
So that's what I would say about that side. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I think, man. they should have done more developed, and I mean, I guess if you would have both of the villains, like I said, it's not too many villains because you can pull it off. I think then maybe they should have just had like Electro there, like made him like you said, like of a pawn. And then that way focus more on Harry, and that way when he turns, you can feel like a little bit more, always like bad for him or whatever, and then but understand him as well, and then like have that whole battle, at the end still, and then that's when Gwen dies
I will
and stuff
say
like that.
I kind of like the motivation for this Harry than the first Harry.
Yeah.
James Franco is just like, yeah, my dad. Where the second one is like about to die. And,
Yeah.
like that.
Well, at the same time, I don't want to focus too much.
Yeah,
I
you can't say anything because you got a review coming up. All right, I get it.
So sorry.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But okay, well, with that being said, obviously we didn't get a third one in the franchise, which I would have liked. I would have liked them to kind of like try to redeem themselves, like at least,
Yeah.
because
it wasn't as bad as I think now thinking about it. The one thing I could say about the third one, I think I like the third one a little bit more than the second one, just because I feel like the villains were done. The Spider-Man 3 better than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, because at least Spider-Man 3 had pretty good villains. I can't think of a good villain in
Sandman was I think was a great villain.
Yeah, very well done. Very well. There was a very emotional punch to him, and even the thing with Harry, the first two movies were building up to that moment. So like you didn't really need to focus on that he could have started off like Green Goblin. That's fine because you had two movies to build him up.
Yeah.
Marvel does it all the time now. They build up their characters and then in one movie they just go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. To be honest, I don't know. I just think they should have done a little bit more with Harry. But, I mean, other than that, man, I do feel like Spider-Man 3 will probably beat Amazing Spider-Man 2 for me. So I feel like my list at the moment, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, and it's Amazing Spider-Man 2. Cool. But I just want to clarify, my lowest film that I'd give a score to is 6. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
6,
Yeah, no, definitely. These movies, like, even the Spider-Man 3, I felt like it isn't, like, trash like I would say, like, a Transformers was. You know what I'm saying? It's just...
Transformers was
it's
definitely
just,
worse.
I shouldn't even have those movies in the same sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because Transformers, like... No, just kidding.
A 2.
No, but I feel like they're better than what people give them, credit for.
Yeah, I get you.
But alright, with those... Well, that trilogy and that, I guess, duology or whatever being covered, let's move on to Spider-Man Homecoming. So this is something that was never, like, it was just dreamed of, for movie fans, or Spider-Man to, be fighting alongside the Avengers.
It's what everyone wanted.
Everybody wanted this.
Everyone wanted Spider-Man in the Avengers more than X-Men in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, man, because Spider-Man is just... Obviously, we already talked about this, me and you, like how it's he's the most iconic superhero for Marvel, and he's definitely up there. I think right after Batman and Superman,
definitely
as most iconic superheroes. So to see now these great movies being done by Marvel and stuff like that, so now like getting this hero like in that would have been great. So, but it finally happened, and they revealed Tom Holland and stuff like that. So I want to get your initial thoughts of what you thought about Spider-Man coming to the MCU, and then what you think about when they cast Tom Holland.
To be honest, when they first cast Tom Holland, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it now. It's alright. Everyone wants to see Spider-Man as a kid. I get it, because that's how he started out in the comics and stuff, but perfectly honest, man, I do like adult Spider-Man more because I relate to those problems now more as an adult.
Yeah.
And I probably would have liked this kid Spider-Man when I was younger, so it's pretty good for the younger generation, to be honest. So
yeah,
it's great for them to be. But in my opinion, I just would have loved to have Spider-Man a little bit older. I like the idea of Spider-Man being like in the first movie is still in high school, second movie graduating, third movie like getting married or something. Like that's how it happened in the comics. Maybe not that fast, but
yeah,
definitely not that fast. But I don't know, man. It's fine that he's 15, 16, and I approve the choice of Tom Holland now. I feel like he's gonna be a pretty good Spider-Man. At first, I didn't see it, to be honest, not like right away. I think it had a lot to do with the CGI suit in Civil War, because it had like a lot of CG on it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard for me to like, oh, okay, like that's not really the actor, you know? But I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, man. And
so with that being said, what'd you think about Spider-Man's character in Civil War and like how, all that stuff, like how did...
I thought it was well done. I like that they didn't go too much into it. It's more like a little teaser, like, hey, this is coming. Like, its own movie is coming. I like the way they're taking it. It's a little bit different. They're giving Spider-Man kind of an Iron Man type suit, which I like.
Yeah, designed by Tony and stuff.
Yeah, which because in the original he just designed stone.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What I will say, the trailers did ruin it for me.
Yeah.
For the hype in terms of the hype for Homecoming. Again, you heard my praise. You know, at Civil War he did great. You know, I was finally excited for Tom Holland, and this Spider-Man Homecoming was coming out. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see. I want to see the Spider-Man team up. I was hoping it wouldn't be like Spider-Man just Tony in the same movie because I'm kind of tired of Tony and everything.
Yeah.
But I get he's the heart. I get that he's the one that started the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I am getting a little bit tired of it. But man, hey. I'll say this. I was really, really looking forward to Spider-Man Homecoming until that one trailer where they showed like, oh, we're going to take away the suit from you and then you're going to try to get it back.
They basically showed all the major like plot points. Like, it's okay, it's going to hit this note, this note and stuff like that. And I don't know, even the third one, it's like they didn't like understand what we didn't like about that trailer. It's like they did it more. It's like they did the opposite, you know. So
nah, man, I get you totally.
But hopefully the movie has more to offer than what we saw in the trailers. But I'm excited. As far as him being younger and stuff like that, I don't mind it. But I would have like.
You like seeing older Peter?
Yeah, because that's something that I really thought worked in the original trilogy and stuff like that. So
man.
It's just because I don't know, I can't see it. Hopefully it's not too kiddish. I mean, they've been saying that it's gonna be like the Breakfast Club and stuff like that, and with Spider-Man and superheroes and stuff like that. Which I mean, I wouldn't mind. It's cool, but I don't know. We just have to wait and see. For the most part, I'm excited, but not too excited because we've seen this before, you know.
Yeah, we haven't seen Vulture. I think I'm mostly excited to see...
Vulture is going to be cool to...
Because they didn't really spoil anything with Vulture. They just it did his motivation. I think that the thing I'm disappointed is that they spoiled Spider-Man's arc.
Yeah. You know,
pretty
definitely.
much.
Yeah,
they didn't spoil anything with Vulture. I'm looking forward to the Vulture stuff. Don't worry. I do want to see how he redeems himself and gets his suit back. I think everyone wants to see that. But hey, man, I'm really excited to see what they do with this villain, especially because I've been hearing some good buzz about it. I'm trying to keep my expectations like normal though, because I don't want to be disappointed. Because I've also heard some people say that it's just another Marvel movie. Yeah. So I've heard people say it's the best Spider-Man since Spider-Man 2, but not better than Spider-Man 2, and also that it's like but it's also another Marvel movie. Like it just feels like another Marvel movie. So that's how I feel about Spider-Man Homecoming coming up, man. What about you?
I think the same. Obviously, you hit every note that I thought with the trailers. I thought it was just, gosh, they showed too much. But for the most part, I'm excited to see how he's going to be used and included in the MCU. And something I don't want to be done a lot is I'm scared that Iron Man's going to be there too much and it's going to take away from Spider-Man and Peter Parker and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm scared for that. And as far as love interests, so far we don't know like if there's any like original ones from the comics like Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. Yeah, there was that rumor that Zendaya was going to be Mary Jane, but I think her name was already weird. I think her name was already revealed.
Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah. But then her middle name is going to be something with a J. So it's like, you know, but they said that it's gonna like a wink to the nod, like a nod to the fan, you know.
So man, maybe Mary Jane might not even be in this.
Maybe because he's still gonna, because you know they try to say, hey, he's gonna be in high school and stuff like that.
That's disappointing.
For like freshman year, the first movie, sophomore year, the second movie, you know, like
kind
that.
Of like Harry Potter.
Yeah, kind of like Harry Potter. But again, I feel like we're kind of like downplaying. I'm excited for this movie. I'll definitely, you know, gonna see it opening day and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too. But I think I was just like my hype died down because of
that there you go. So we can agree that we're both excited, but not too excited. Just okay, we'll see the film. And then
I was more excited when it was a mystery.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'll say. Like I think it's just that trailer messed it up for me, and I wish I didn't watch it. And that made me stop watching trailers. To be honest, that one thing made me stop watching trailers for upcoming movies. Yeah. Like even War of the Planet of the Apes, I still haven't seen that many trailers.
Yeah, that one I've seen a few, but I tried to stay away even for Baby Driver and because it's so awesome to go into a movie and just see everything for the first time.
Gosh,
you know?
yeah.
Because then you're gonna be seeing the movie and okay, well this hasn't happened in the trailer, so I know this character survives this thing, or like something like that.
Yeah, I get you.
But I'm also excited to see how they're gonna use him in Infinity War, because again he's still gonna be young, so like how are they gonna use Spider-Man in this, and like how are they gonna move on from that to all the way to like everybody keeps saying Homecoming 2, but I'm just gonna say Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be like Spider-Man
Prom.
Something else. No, it's not Spider-Man Prom. Spider-Man something else,
Yeah.
But
Sadie's. Spider-Man Sadie's.
No, stupid.
No, I think they just chose Homecoming because of the meaning. Like he's back at Marvel and all that stuff. And also like he's probably gonna try to save the day and go to Homecoming at the same time.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say about the Spider-Man series?
Other than that,
I think
man,
we covered everything.
I'm excited. I'm still excited. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little bit more excited.
I'm excited to see Tom as well.
Yeah.
He gave
I
want to
see Tom Holland. I think that was one thing I am also excited for. I want to see Tom Holland's performance as Spider-Man. Even if I know his character's beats, I still want to see how he portrays the character.
Yeah,
because I feel like he'll do an okay job.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah, I guess that's all I have to really say, to be honest, about Spider-Man Homecoming. And everything else Spider-Man related, to be honest, at this point, in terms of the films. If we just talked about the character, that's another hour.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that was our segment for Spider-Man, as you can tell from the title, music, and stuff like that. So we'll be back after this musical break, and we're gonna talk about everything iPhone and its birthday, its 10th anniversary.
It's Apple in general, or just iPhone?
The iPhone.
Okay.
I'm
cool.
sorry.
Yeah, no.
iPhone's 10th. Yeah, Apple's 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
But at the iPhone's 10th anniversary, so we'll see you on the other side.
All right. Cool.
All right, guys, welcome back. So the topic we're going to discuss right now is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone.
Oh, dude, not Android? Fuck this.
Imagine. So 10 years ago, man, this little device got announced. Steve Jobs, and I told you, I always see that I guess press conference or presentation.
The first iPhone.
Yeah, I always watch that presentation at least a few times a year, first, because I don't know, because I watch it on this phone now. I have the iPhone 7 Plus, 128 gigabytes. No, and I don't know. I just like to see the evolution. Like to see man, when this got announced, people didn't know what they were gonna get in for.
Oh no,
this is such a, I guess, revolutionary device. It literally changed the game.
Yeah, before that industry was Sidekicks, Blackberries. There were we're not gonna sit here and say Apple invented all this, but they definitely found a way to popularize the multi-touch touchscreen.
Yeah.
Again, like we're saying, we know they didn't invent this. It's not revolutionary per se. I think it's the quote unquote revolutionary part of it is that the way they constructed it, not so much, I guess, more on the software side.
You can say that they kind of perfected it. Kind of. Obviously it has its flaws, but they took something and just made it work universally. It just,
they made it easy to use.
Yeah, before that it's just these touchscreen devices weren't common and not as,
they were mostly capacitive too.
Yeah, I remember having one.
I had a capacitive. That sucked.
It sucked, man. And
I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I was so hyped to get it, and it was yuck.
Yeah, I know. I hated texting on that damn phone. I had a full-on capacitive touchscreen. It was some Android phone. It sucks so bad.
It was Evo or something.
I will say this, man. I liked my BlackBerry when it was cool.
You had one. I forgot about that. I had a black BlackBerry. It was cool. I think that was my first smartphone. That was my first phone. I got it when I was high school, 9th grade. That's when I was allowed to have a phone. So I got it in 9th grade. Obviously, at that time, the iPhone was already out, but I thought it was so cool having a BlackBerry and an iPod Touch. Yeah,
I think
you had the best of both worlds.
No, but I had the best of something. Like, I remember having the first iPod Touch because I wanted an iPhone, but it was super expensive at the time. And, like, I'm not saying it's not expensive now, but now there's just easier ways to get it with, like, payment programs. But before, you had to have a contract.
Yeah,
you had to have 2 years contract. You can't.
Contract.
Yeah, you couldn't just get an iPhone just like that. You had to have a 2-year contract. That was so weird. And you know what? It's so weird how now, ever since the iPhone came out, now Apple has been focused on making everything work around the iPhone. Their Macs now work around the iPhone. Their iPads work around the iPhone. You couldn't say that about Apple before. The iPod didn't work around the Mac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was It was just a separate thing, a separate entity that worked. That had iTunes. Like, I remember using iTunes perfectly well on a Windows computer.
Yeah.
With your iPod. So the first, I think, device that Apple made that they wanted to make everything work together with was the iPhone. Would you say you agree with that or not?
No, I highly
Swear.
disagree. No, I was
gonna say that. What the heck?
No, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot, actually. And even what you said about nowadays, how everything's more, I guess the ecosystem is kind of built around the iPhone, you know?
Swear, yeah.
Yeah, because even you can, with the Apple TV or the Apple Watch, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this stuff.
I don't have either of those, just saying.
Well, sorry for, you know. Just kidding. But, so, talk about your first, you have an iPhone now. Talk about your first iPhone you had. You know, you're talking about how you wanted one, you know, so now.
Yeah. You don't laugh. My first iPhone I ever had was it wasn't the 4S, but when the 4S came out, my first iPhone was the iPhone 3G.
Really?
The iPhone 5 was going to come out, and then my dad got this iPhone 3G from, like, some guy in the street. I was, like, we were poor.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, and I was so excited, even though it was a stupid 3G. It was so outdated. But I finally had something where I can have all my music, you know, because I didn't have to have an iPod and a phone anymore. And that phone actually worked fine for me for like a good year. And then I ended up getting a 4S, the white one, 2 months before the 5 came out, to be honest. So that kind of sucked. But no, actually the 5 was already out, but I didn't have the money, and they were doing this thing where they were starting to sell the previous iPhone as well before. Yeah. So I got the 4S when the 5 came out, and that was my first. I count that as my first true current iPhone, like when I was up with everyone's times, because not everyone upgraded to 5 right away. Again, you had to be on a 2-year contract at the time. I don't think they did the whole pay plan until T-Mobile did it. Probably when the 5 started, but it wasn't popularized until Apple made this iPhone upgrade program until recently, pretty much. Till when the 6 and the 6 Plus came out. That's when the whole payment plan started getting popularized for iPhones in particular. So my first one was a 4S for me. Like, technically my first one was a 3G, but it was already cracked, and it was like not the best experience. Yeah, it was pretty bad. But my first real iPhone was a iPhone 4S. And man, I remember loving that phone. I remember getting that phone. iOS 5 just came out.
Yeah.
Or I think it was iOS 6. But one of those just came out, and I was like, wow, phones can't get any better than this for some reason. Yeah. Little did I know that we were going to have like 1080p screens. And I know Android has a lot more to offer in some cases in terms of hardware, and even through software in some cases. But
yeah, but Android and Samsung sucks, so.
I actually like Samsung. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I actually like Android and Samsung phones. And to be honest, if I was going to just justify them just as phones, I would actually say Samsung is a better phone. Like, the Galaxy has a better phone, but the Apple has a better ecosystem. So that's what keeps me there at this point, because I use a Mac, to be honest, and I am comfortable with my career choice and everything. I am most comfortable doing my work on a Mac. And an iPhone just works so well with it. And an iPhone's not a bad phone. It's not like, oh man, I have to have an iPhone because it works well with my Mac. It's more like, okay, the iPhone's really, I'm not going to say a pretty good phone. It's a really, really good phone. And it works well with this laptop I use every day. My 15-inch MacBook Pro. Just saying. No, I'm just kidding. And those are the only two Apple devices I have at the moment, and I'm happy with those two devices. They work well for me. They work well together. And you know what? It's so crazy to think that Apple at this point is kind of behind in terms of their phone. Not like by a lot, to be fair, but kind of behind. What do you think?
Yeah. As far as like them being behind.
Yeah,
I think they're still ahead in most things. Not man, just keep saying the opposite. No, I think they are behind in some certain things. Like, definitely, I feel like the Android and Galaxy phones have been, I guess, innovating in the sense a little bit more and trying to implement some new technology in their devices. Mm-hmm. And even the operating system has really been improving a lot. You know, it's more cleaner, more stable. And all that especially good stuff. I'm sorry?
Especially the Mac.
What do you mean?
It's like especially the Mac has been like cleaner OS.
No, I'm talking about Android.
iOS or Android.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, yeah. Actually, Android has a very, very clean OS. Very snappy.
Smooth.
It's not as buggy as it used to be.
No, man. I had to clarify to listeners. I've had both. You know, I kind of started with Android. Then I had to go a little bit into like what I had the iPhone 3G when they first got the App Store and stuff like that. I was able to get it at Best Buy refurbished, so it was reduced to like almost $200. So that's why I got it. My mom said you either get a pair of shoes and some clothes, or I can get you a phone. And I was like, okay, cool, get me the phone.
Because you were super into technology.
No, yeah. I mean, when I first heard of the iPhone and I saw it, I've always been a big fan of like all-in-one devices. Yeah. You know, like just have one device for everything: your music, your video, calling, internet, everything. That's why I was such a big fan of the PSP and all that stuff, because I felt like it could do everything. You know, like I felt like it could just take and game.
Me
also.
too. I remember that we would all have PSPs.
Yeah,
for music and games
and movies and all that stuff, and
everything
in
internet, one
and,
device. Yeah.
So now with when Apple came and then did this, obviously they added the whole text messaging and a phone aspect to it, you know. Mm-hmm. So after that, I had the 3GS, which I still have today, and then I had that one for a while.
Yeah.
It's pretty beat up, but I had this one for a while until my dad actually found a iPhone 4 where he was living at, and he didn't have a use for it, so he sent it to me since I had a pretty crappy phone, you know, in that time standards. And after that, I went to Samsung Galaxy S3.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You liked that phone though.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's because I don't know, I felt like one of the downfalls for iOS was the customization side. Mm-hmm. You can't really customize, so that's what really drew me to like Galaxy, you know, like how you can add widgets and all that stuff. But after that, I went back and I got the iPhone 6 Plus.
Yeah, I remember that.
6 Plus, and
you had that Galaxy for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I had it for a while. And I guess what drew me back to iPhone. Well, I always had my iPhone 4 and stuff like that. So like when I had my music and stuff. But what drew me back, saying, you know what, I want an iPhone for a daily driver, was the fact that it had a bigger screen, the Plus model, you know.
Right.
So I was so psyched because that was the first time Apple did something like that, you know. So ever since then, I've been having the Plus model, the iPhone 6s Plus, and now the 7 Plus, and we don't know what we're getting this year, you know, whether 7s Plus or the 8 or the X or whatever.
Yeah, it's supposedly it's gonna be like the biggest iPhone ever. Like they say that every year, but
in
supposedly,
terms of size, it's supposed to be smaller than this.
Smaller than the 7?
Smaller than the 7 Plus, and bigger than the 7. So it's in the
between. You see, I don't keep up with this stuff, because if you keep up with the rumors, they're all true.
Yeah.
Then you're never surprised. You know what I mean?
No,
so I just don't keep up with it. I'd rather just be surprised when they announce the phone.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's cool. I don't care. No, go ahead. Spoil it for me if you want. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't look it up personally.
No, yeah.
But if you tell me, I'm gonna be like, okay, cool. Like,
it was supposed to have wireless charging. It's supposed to have like a different display. No, I'm just kidding.
I know something about a touch, either a touch ID on the screen or a touch ID on the back. One of those.
Yeah, at first there was a lot of schematics and like leaks and stuff like that, like case leaks. with the fingerprint sensor in the back. But now there's been strong evidence that's not going to be in the back. It's going to be implemented in the screen, which I think I wouldn't want it to be in the back. It just looks kind of messy, you know, and it looks like other phones. So if iPhone can be the first phone to implement on the screen and anywhere on the screen,
I think there is a phone that does that already. Doesn't Android do that?
No, I think there's one that came out with like a, I guess, I don't know how to say this, like a model of it, a model version saying that, okay, we have this technology and we can make it work. And so that's why everybody's been saying like, okay, there's hope for the iPhone to have that kind of technology. But anyways, I think we kind of deterred it from 10 years of iPhone. Obviously now they got bigger, better, faster in terms of hardware.
We didn't think they would get bigger for a long time.
Yeah, because Steve Jobs was more like saying this is the perfect size phone. You know, like they changed it, the look of it, but the size and the screen was the same. You know, and then you know they got a little bit bigger with the 5S,
because they're like, oh look, your thumb goes perfectly across the screen. Yeah, which it did, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I didn't own one of those models. Like I said, I jumped from the 4. Not even the 4S, from the 4 to the 6 Plus.
I had a 4S, and then I jumped to the 5S. I never had a 5.
Yeah.
And then I had a 6 Plus, and then I had the 6S Plus. After
people listening are probably all these freaking assholes or something.
Yeah, like these fucking rich people. To be honest, dude, like every time I get a new iPhone, it's like on contract or payment plans. I've never paid it. Right now. Yeah, I've never paid it up front. I don't have the money for that. But I'm not one of those tech YouTubers that just pay everything up front. Get like 6 iPhones, give like 5 away, keep one. Yeah. Yeah, man. I just do my payment plans, $25 a month or whatever. But here's the thing, man. It's gone a long way. For a while, they weren't getting bigger. This company definitely went a different direction with the iPhone when Steve died.
Definitely.
They changed the UI completely. Do you remember from iOS 6 to iOS 7? That was a big...
And that's, I feel like, when all the bugs started to happen.
Yeah, I will say that. There was a lot of bugs in iOS 7, especially because of the whole UI redesign. Some things worked, some things didn't. There was some very convenient stuff like Control Center. Stuff like that. There's a lot of little cool stuff in iOS 7, but it was plagued with a bunch of bugs. And then iOS 8 came in, that didn't really fix much. iOS 9 came and it fixed quite a bit, to be honest. Then, I believe iOS 10 came, or did they announce iOS 10?
Yeah. iOS 10 is the current one right now.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. No, it's hard because we're like 7.
Yeah. Okay, so it's the iPhone 7. Okay, here's the thing. It's funny because the naming is so bad. Because watch, this year is the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. The current iPhone is the iPhone 7, and we're in iOS 11. You know what I mean? Yeah, so like the name. No, we're going to be on iOS 11 like September or something.
Yeah.
So that's all weird, like the numbering and stuff. But hey, man, all I can say is, wow, like it's been a. I did a lot of things on that first iPhone I had. I made I made videos on that iPhone, actually, believe it or not. And I made a lot of music on GarageBand on the iPhone when I was just in high school. That's how I actually got started in composing, was on my iPhone. Yeah. Believe it or not, because I didn't have a Mac at the time. Yeah. I didn't get my first Mac until after I graduated high school. Which, to be honest, was only like 4 years ago, but still, like, it was only like 4 years ago at this point, but still, like, I didn't get my own computer until that point, so at that point, I was using my iPhone for everything, and you know what, it's a pretty capable device, and it's always been, but I feel like that holds true now more than ever, and especially with, now iPad taking its own direction, I'm excited for what the iPhone could do in the future, so... like in its own, like separate, like features. You get what I'm saying? Like like right now we have Force Touch on the iPhone. We don't have it on the iPad. Like specific features for that. So like that's the things I'm
looking forward to, or
that's the thing things I think have changed the most since Jobs died is the sizes of the iPhone, just the way that Apple views the iPhone now in general.
Yeah.
Has changed, not a lot since Steve has died, but quite a bit, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, like the blueprint is still there. You know, like the core of it's still there.
Yeah, it's still an iPhone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just the direction they took with it was not something Steve would do. I still don't think that's something Steve would do to this day.
Yeah.
And you know what? To be perfectly honest, when Steve died, I was like not super bummed out, like, cause I guess I'd never get bummed out over celebrity deaths, but I mean I felt the impact
Yeah.
from everyone at the time, you know. And then I remember I think he died a week after the 4S was announced, huh?
I think so. I think that was his last presentation.
Yeah, no, he died a week. That wasn't his first presentation without him. Was when the 4S was announced. He resigned before that, and then after the 4S was announced, he died a week later.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's when the iPhone started to change within those 10 years. But, man, imagine how the iPhone would look now if Steve didn't pass.
Yeah.
All right, and he was still like CEO. It would look like I think it would look not like a totally different machine, but it would look pretty different.
I think so too. That would be interesting.
Yeah,
'Cause
imagine.
they've always been a company that plans ahead, obviously, you know. So it would have been fun to see what they had, like, or Steve.
Like
had.
instead of imagine like the 10th anniversary now iPhone would not be the 10th anniversary now iPhone if Steve was alive.
Yeah.
That's what I could say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I guess that's it, man.
Yeah. That's all we can really talk about the iPhone. There's only so much you could talk about it. To be
Yeah,
perfectly
it's just
honest.
it's in the years how it's changed and our experiences with, you know, the first getting our hands on the first one and all that stuff.
It just makes you feel old.
It does, man. I remember
We're still young. You know what I mean? We're like in our
yeah.
20s, but like it still makes
I was
you
17.
Yeah, it just makes you realize how like your childhood passed by.
What the hell?
You
I'm
know?
not 27. What the hell?
You're not 27, no.
So I was 15. Actually.
Wow, you spoiled brat. No, just kidding.
Man.
You got your first iPhone when you were 16 or 17.
16. Little fun fact: I was the only one in my school who had that. Nobody had it because, like, I remember when I took it out, everybody was like, "What the hell?" You know. The only person who had one was one of the proctors. I remember because he like took it out and stuff.
Damn.
So it was surreal because I don't know. The same thing happened.
Now
with
everyone has one.
Yeah. Now, yeah, exactly. Now, like, little kids have one. iPhone's everywhere. You know, like. I still like iMessage a lot though.
Yeah, iMessage was one of the greatest things that Apple brought to
Yeah.
iOS, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know. You have anything else to add on to that?
No, man.
That's
Just,
it, huh?
you know, happy birthday. I mean, it passed. The
It's
iPhone's
June
birthday
29th,
passed. Yeah, but, you know.
2009.
Yeah,
Or
it didn't pass that much long ago, like just a few days ago.
Yeah.
But still, man, happy birthday to the iPhone. Happy 10th birthday.
Happy birthday.
And
Thanks for all the memories you've brought us and stuff.
yeah, man, the hype and all that stuff. Yeah.
All right, so that was the end of that segment, and we'll be back again after this musical break to talk about some stuff I want to talk to you guys about. The outro, if you will. So we'll be back. All right, guys, welcome back to the outro part of the podcast. And something that I've been doing at the end of these podcasts is kind of, I guess, give a bit of advice or I guess motivation or whatever. And so I first talked about what the fuck? What's wrong? All right, how come it doesn't show right here?
Because it's recording on the bottom one.
But it's still like.
Yeah,
goes
it's still
smoothly?
recording. Don't worry about it. Yeah, yeah.
You sure?
I promise.
Dude, because you don't know nothing about audio. Alright, you ready? I won't look at you.
Wait. Sorry. What's so funny? All right, go ahead.
Alright, you good?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. Alright, guys, welcome back. Fuck. All right, guys. So welcome to the outro part of the podcast. Like I've been doing these past couple of weeks, I've been kind of trying to, I guess, give advice or motivation or something like that. And the first week we talked about, doing what you want to do and finding out what those excuses are and getting rid of them. Kind of like roadblocks. Like figure out what they are and make them not be excuses anymore. And the second week I kind of talked about useful tool, I guess, and that's time management. And if you master that and know how to use your time wisely, because a lot of people say, okay, well, I realize, the roadblocks and stuff, but I feel like I don't have enough time, So I talked about that in the second podcast. And so now I kind of want to talk about consistency and how that's a big key and another big tool. And without it, you'll never get to where you want to get to, So now I have here Mo. Well, we both kind of have we do have YouTube channels and stuff like that. So yeah. I kind of wanted to get your input on this as well, of how important consistency is, and a little, I guess, words from your experience in this.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm not so consistent on my YouTube channel. It's not my main priority. My main priority is making music. So, yeah. But I will say this. Even with something as simple as that, making music on a consistent basis is extremely important. That's the only way you're going to get better. If you do one good thing every month, you can only get so good. You need to keep doing it. Yeah. And it's not always going to be good. Sometimes your work is going to be bad. Whether you're doing YouTube, music, film.
Yeah.
Not everything you could do could be amazing. And you have to keep that in mind. It's everyone has those diamonds in the rough. Some people, like, I guess, Christopher Nolan or something like that, or Tarantino, they have their bad films, but they also have, most of the time they could put out good stuff, but not everyone could be a Tarantino. Not everyone could be Led Zeppelin. You know what I mean? So, not everyone can be a great. So, the only thing that matters is how often you work on your craft to hone it. And consistency is key to improving in anything that you need to do. If you want to get better at music, just make music. Just keep making it. Yeah. Even your first few songs are going to suck. Maybe your first few 100 songs will suck. After that, your music's going to actually start getting good. It's going to start getting to a place where it's good. You never know. Same thing with film. You just keep making films. Same thing with art in general. Any type of art, really. If you want to do something even besides an art, you want to do something in, say you want to be a doctor. If you only focus on one patient, every month, then, how are you going to save a lot of lives? So, consistency is key. That's what keeps you going. That's what helps you improve. It's kind of
that, also that saying of, practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
And that's
no, there's no such thing as perfect, but that's something to aim for.
Well, yeah, just make sure to keep putting hour after hour, that's what's going to make you better. So not perfect, I guess, but just achieve, better quality in whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, and even if you make a mistake, keep in mind that mistake is not, even if what you made is not even just a mistake, maybe it's a complete and total failure.
Yeah.
But don't let that stop you, because you take that as, okay,
all you can do is learn from it.
Yeah, exactly. I finished this. Yeah. At least. That's the one good thing you could always say. I finished this.
Yeah.
It's not good, but I finished it. And by finishing it, I will learn my mistakes here and make something better next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because if you just don't finish it because, you know it's going to be bad, then you're not going to learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? You're not going to know exactly how it became bad.
Yeah.
I had a lot of that. That was my biggest problem starting off making music, was I would start stuff and never finish it.
Yeah.
And I did that for about a year.
That's how I was with writing. I would write a lot of short stories, and I had a lot of good ideas, but I would never finish. And that was for me, that made me feel bad until I started finishing them,
Yeah.
That's when it clicked for me, even if the idea, I don't like the idea, because that's a lot of times what stopped me. I would start writing a script or whatever, and I have the characters and everything, but I just felt like it was shit. You know, and that's why I didn't finish. Like, you know what? This nobody's gonna like this. Whatever. Bam, and I'll start a new one. You know.
No, I get you.
But in terms with this whole YouTube stuff, like I said in my previous podcast, it's been something that I've been wanting to do with one of my biggest passions, which is film. You know, and so I thought, just do it now. You know, and I started.
There's no better time than now.
Yeah, I started. Yeah, that's another thing. Just start. You know, just do it. You know.
Yeah.
And after what I told you, you know, the first things you need to do, and the reason why I want to talk about consistency is because once you start, don't expect to get the results you want like right away. Like that's a lot. I feel like a lot of people nowadays try things, and they say, "Well, I tried it. It didn't work out. Let's move on to the next thing." You know?
Yeah.
I feel like
tried a few
patience.
times.
Also a big part of it. Just have patience. If you decided you want to do this, you have to have the passion for it. Whatever you want to do, you have to have the passion. And so that way you keep doing it, you keep working on it, and you don't feel like, oh man, like I'm not getting the results or whatever. You just keep doing it. Keep doing it, be consistent, and that's what's going to drive a lot of people to whatever you're doing, because they see you being consistent. You know, they see you getting better every video or every song, you know?
Yeah. And
personally, you can feel good about yourself that like I said, it's not sort of a failure, it's just like a lesson learned, you know? Like, okay, you can only benefit from that. You know, if you consider whatever you do as a failure, because a lot of times too, you can like, man, I suck or whatever, but everybody else is telling you the different, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for you to accept that, because that's like your creation, your art, and like you're always saying, man, I can do better. And that's something that's kind of good, you know, to always strive for something better. But I think, like I said, consistency is key. And don't just be patient. Your results are not like, kind of like working out is a perfect, I guess, metaphor or whatever it is. If you go to the gym like once or like a week,
yeah.
You know, or even 2 weeks, you're not gonna get the results you want. You have to keep going every day till it gets to a month. In a few months and stuff like that, to see the results that you want, you know, and that's key in anything.
Yeah.
So, that's just something I gotta tell you guys, to be consistent, and there's that great quote I always keep telling you about now by Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Without commitment, you can't start, but without consistency, you'll never finish.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like one of the greatest. You know,
yeah, I know.
That's what I like to hear every day. That's something, you know, that keeps me going. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, man, you finished it perfectly. Let's end
All
it
right,
with
so,
that Denzel Washington quote.
Yeah, basically. So that's the end of the podcast, guys. And hopefully, like I said, the outros to these, I kind of want to motivate you guys and just give you advice to whatever you guys want to do. You know, just do it. And like Mo said, there's no better time than now. So all right, I want to thank Mo for being my guest again. So thank you. And where can people find you, man?
No worries, and you gotta thank your Oreo here for being a guest as well. Guest is speaking in the background. You probably heard some meows. That was Oreo. So there's your third special guest.
Yeah.
That you didn't even know about.
Very special.
But yeah. So people can find me at Mosenko. So MOSENKO _ if it's on Twitter. Everything else it's just Mosenko, that's it.
Yeah.
On Twitter it's Mosenko _ that's it. Like that's if you look that up anywhere, you'll find me. You can even just type in my name, Monish Corona. I'm sure John will also have links on the bottom as well.
Yeah, I'll have links to all that, guys. And as always, you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at The Real Talk. Real spelled REEL, and talk with 2 Ks. And as always, guys, I'll see you at the movies. Later.
Peace.